Hi there, I'm Tommi Uitto, President of Nokia's Mobile Networks. I'm pleased to be here to talk with you about scaling network performance and resilience. As you all know, the transition to 5G brings a totally new world of possibilities to consumers as well as enterprise. More advanced applications on the domains of industrial automation, remote medicine, cloud gaming, wireless robotics, you name it, they will all be used all over the world with 5G. One point that these new services have in common is that they all demand extreme performance from the network, both in terms of throughput and latency, as well as connectivity. In today's session, we will have speakers talking about why this connectivity is so critical, and we will look at network security from the mindset of a hacker. But before we move to their presentations, I would like to set the scene with a couple of points that I consider to be particularly important. Realizing the importance of networks. Networks are back, like some people say. Networks are essential to everybody. It is important to be able to connect with one another and to the internet and help each other, and especially in these crazy times and in this new normal, this is more true than ever before. So we know that networks are part of our society's essential, critical infrastructure. Every day we rely on our networks to be resilient, even under arduous conditions. In a case of natural disasters, the recovery of the telecommunication infrastructure is one of the first things that we do to help each other and other relief actions to be taken efficiently. While voice and video person-to-person communications have become a way of life for us, personally and professionally, there are of course still limitations or more opportunities if we look at the other way around. So we can still move to more immersive forms of communications using augmented reality, virtual reality, holographic 3D image in the communication with one another. This will provide for a more intuitive experience, whether at home or at work. 5G will get even more ingrained into our personal and professional lives. It will be a fundamental part of several building blocks of our economy. In brief, if networks are critical now, they will be even more critical in the future. The second point is the need for performance and resilience. Businesses need a consistent level of network performance for their operations. It is important to keep in mind that being simply available will not be enough for these networks. The correct levels of performance must be available for critical services at all times. There will be a need for strong performance and resilience to meet the expectations of consumers and enterprise which rely on 5G network. We at Nokia, we have a strong record of delivering the best performance networks. In fact, if you look at the 4G LTE networks, we have the fastest ones in the world, according to independent studies, especially with crowdsourcing data. A similar trend starts to arise in 5G, where we have been constantly breaking throughput records with our commercial software and hardware platforms. Technology is now available as part of 5G and 4G, like end-to-end network slicing from core across transport and radio, will be key to deliver on the promise of new advanced 5G services. In slicing, by using a dedicated set of network resources to each of the application, we can make sure that they perform according to specification, service level agreements, and that companies and individuals can rely on them to support their daily activities and business. Another important aspect to keep in mind when we think about networks taking an even stronger role in our lives is security, network security. For users and companies to trust the network, it must be absolutely secure. That requires solutions that are designed from the outset for security, which are properly managed with a robust detection and response capability, in addition to the preventive capabilities to address eventual threats. Security is an ongoing activity requiring constant adaptation. If security is your last thought, you'll be the first thought in the mind of a hacker. We must be able to continue to scale our networks, and when I say we, I mean we as a humankind. One thing we can be absolutely sure about is that the demand for capacity in these networks will continue to grow as the new services are developed and launched. The networks will of course need to properly scale to support the growing needs of the society. Our industry will continue to develop these new capabilities, whether it's about new spectrum, spectral efficiency, new innovations in radio access that allow you to connect more people and facilitate the growth in IoT, the Internet of Things, to the backbone of the network using optical or some wireless ways to connect different network elements and massive data centers together. It is important that we work together to balance the need for openness and innovation with the need to maintain consistent levels of performance, resilience, and security.